Greetings, everybody. Jeremiah here on August 31st, 2014, and I'm going to take a couple minutes here to show you about how I handle grading on Blackboard with the grading contract utilized by the first-year writing program in mind. I'm going to use a sample Blackboard class, one that I taught at spring 2014, just so I have a class that actually has some data and some assignments already programmed in, so you can see what all that looks like. And I'm going to do this mostly in terms of creating prompts and forums on the discussion board, and then accounting for the activity I ask my students to do on the discussion board in the grade book. The vast majority of stuff that I have my students do for homework for my courses involves working with Blackboard on the discussion board. And I also have them turn in their writing projects online using SafeAssign. So if the video doesn't go too long, I'll show you how SafeAssign works and how I set that up so you can account for the grading contract, grading system in the grade book, as opposed to a standard like point system or percentage system and so on. But anyway, onto the discussion board first. As you can see here, as I said, I utilize the discussion board quite a lot in my teaching, and then that's primarily what my students do for homework. Is they answer prompts and they answer each other's prompts and respond to each other and that kind of thing on the discussion board. So the way that I utilize this and have it connected with the grading, with the grade center, the grade book, if you will, and then account for the grading contract is as follows. So if you come in here to create a forum, first thing you want to do, of course, is give your forum a name. I'm just maybe going to call this one Reading Log 20. And in the description box, this is usually the place where I would include the prompt for that particular assignment that I've asked my students to do. Okay, scrolling down to see some more settings. Availability, this just toggles whether or not student users will be able to see the forum. Of course, I want that to be available. You can program it so that it is only visible given a certain date range. What I often do is I'll set up maybe 5 or 6 discussion board forums, but then I'll program them to go live at a certain day, that kind of thing. Down here to some more forum settings. This first one is particularly interesting. The standard view will allow students, whenever they go into the forum, they will already see a list of every single thread that has been created by their colleagues. Whereas this one, participants must create a thread in order to view other threads in the forum, self-explanatory. So what that does is that forces your students to submit their own post before they can read other students' posts. So that may or may not be useful for your pedagogy. Up to you there. Now here's a really what makes this a nice feature and easily tied into your gradebook. Is you can toggle this whether or not you want the forum to create a column in your gradebook. So the way that I do it is I have Blackboard create just a single column for the entire forum, and for now I just set that so that it's worth 0 points. Because again, under the grading contract system, we're not concerned with points. We're concerned about the student doing the work and turning it in on time, that kind of thing. This little option box right here, show participants in needs grading status. That's why it'll show like a green exclamation point in your gradebook, and in the student's view when they go to check under tools and my grades, it'll show this green exclamation point after every however many posts you set it to. Generally, I just leave this at 1. And then of course you can program a due date as well. Hey, a couple more settings down here towards the bottom. There's nothing here that I generally change for the vast majority of discussion boards that I create. The big one for me is I don't want to allow file attachments. Because it makes it so much easier when I'm going through and I'm reading and responding to student writing if I don't have to worry about opening attachments with a variety of different file types. I want to be able to read the text right there on Blackboard. So I disable allowing my students to do that. Otherwise, generally I'm okay to allow the author to edit their own published posts. That's just fine. So those are the two checkboxes that I generally change. This one here, allow author to edit own published posts, and this one here, disable allow file attachments. Okay, now once you're done with this, you can come on over here, click the submit button. Now that will simultaneously create the forum on your discussion board. You see the one that I just created right here at the bottom, reading long 20, prompt goes here. Simultaneously create that as well as a column in your gradebook, because we asked it to do so, right? So come on over here to the last column, reading log 20. Now there's one more thing that you need to do in this view. Hit that little, it's kind of hard to see, but that little drop-down arrow there to give you this context menu for some more options. We need to edit the column information. And here's the trick for making this work with our grading contract system as opposed to a regular point system or percentage system, etc. And that's to change the primary display here. Hit the drop-down there. We're going to change that from score to text. Okay, and that's pretty much the only thing that we need to do here. Having created this through the discussion board module, it's kind of filled in everything here that we need for it to do. If you're working with grading periods or that kind of thing, you can set the grading period that's applicable to this post, but that's beyond the scope of this video and not super important. It's just an organizational thing. Okay, hit submit to commit the changes. Now, what that allows me to do to change the type from score to text is now I can basically enter in anything I want to for the grade or the assessment for that particular discussion board post. And I let my students know what my key or my legend is for grading. It's on my syllabus, it's in the grading contract, and so on. So when my students see that they've received a letter C for any given assignment, that's what they want to see because that means it was complete. If they see an L, that means it's late, and then in parentheses, I'll note when they turned it in, when it was complete. If my students see an M, that means that the assignment was missed. If they see an I, that means that the assignment was incomplete, and so on and so forth. And generally what I'll do is once they've turned it in, I'll note that in parentheses, but I'll keep the original letter code. That way when I go to account or tally up grades at the end of the semester, it's easy for me just to scroll across the row and say like, well, this student has complete, complete, complete. Oh, there's one missed, one late, two missed, two late, three late, and then yeah, this student obviously is starting to get in trouble in terms of the grading contract. But that's pretty much how I handle grading on Blackboard with the grading contract accounted for and the grading contract in mind. The other thing that I want to show you really quick is how to handle SafeAssign in terms of the grading contract. Now, SafeAssign is a little funky. If you've never created a SafeAssign link for any of your Blackboard shells, it's not really in the place where you think it would be. You think that you could come into the Grading Center, click on Create Column, and then it would allow you to create a SafeAssign link that way. Or if not there, you might think that it would be under Course Tools, and then SafeAssign. And then somewhere in here, you would be able to create your SafeAssign link for a writing project. Well, it doesn't work that way. Actually, what you need to do is create the link under Course Documents. And I organize my course documents module in a series of folders, and I have a folder for each like unit or each project. So, for example, if I needed to create a SafeAssign link for Project 3, I could just go into that folder that I'd already created, and here under the Assessments dropdown is a Safe Assignment. And from here, it's very, very similar to how I created a discussion board post previously. So give it a name, give it a number of points. Of course, for the grading contract, that's going to be 0 points. You can program or key in your due date there. Additional instructions that you can leave for your students if you want to or need to. Make the assessment available, yes or no. Track number of views, so you can see who's looked at the SafeAssign link if you want to. When you want that SafeAssign link to be available or to be displayed. Now here for the draft checkbox, yeah, look that up. I can't remember exactly which is which, but I know the distinction is whether or not you want to have SafeAssign submit the student writing to the database and then to use that writing for future SafeAssign excuse me, checks. I think if you click the option box there and you submit it and you're saying that it is a draft, then SafeAssign will not submit the student writing to the database. So for example, if you're asking for like a first draft of project 3 in this case, if I check the draft box, then when the students go to submit a second draft of project 3, the second draft will not check or won't care about what the student did in the first draft in terms of checking to see like matched sentences or matched language and so on. And then urgent checking, of course, is just kind of like hey, SafeAssign, put a rush on this check, run it through the database as quick as you can, that kind of thing. And then you can say whether or not you want the student or you want the SafeAssign report to be viewable by the student or not. And do you want it to create an announcement that, hey, the SafeAssign link is available and click on this link to go to it or whatever. You can do that there. Click submit. Okay, and that one I called project 3A. Sure enough, there it is. So now if I come back down to my grade center, I should see that appear at the end of my list. And sure, well, there we go. I'm going to scroll down there. And sure enough, there it is, project 3. And same deal here. This is just, grading contract stuff. We need to change the primary display from score to text. And now I can enter in whatever text I want to for the grade. So I can put in my C for complete, L for late, and so on and so forth. So that's that. That's how I handle grading on Blackboard using the discussion board, forums, and using safe assignment links, all with the grading contract in mind. So there's that. Good luck and happy trails.